ng bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Karamay nyo kami, kahit malayo man kami nakakarating. OFW magsasaka, buhay ay iba't iba, san mang lugar ng bansa natin. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ng bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko,
ng bagong Pilipinas para sa bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na guugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Mega Manila, 738.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
Ito ang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Radyo Pilipinas World Service, ang online digital platform station ng Presidential Broadcast Service, Bureau of Broadcast Services. Radyo Pilipinas World Service, nagsisilbing makabagong tulay sa paghahatid ng balita, impormasyon at mga programa para sa mga Pilipino sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo gamit ang online services sa inyong mga social media application. Radyo Pilipinas World Service, ang online digital station ng Pilipino para sa Pilipino, saan mang dako ng mundo.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. over the weekend expressed his appreciation to the employers and companies who participated in the government's Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas, or in English, Jobs and Health Services for a New Philippines, held at the Alonte Sports Arena in Binyan City, Laguna Province. Organized by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, and the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, beneficiaries of the DSWD's Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, were offered employment opportunities from 26 employers invited by the DOLE. In his message, the President also thanked local government units, or LGUs, for their contribution in ensuring the success of the national government's livelihood and employment programs. The Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas provides support to job seekers in exploring opportunities that match their skills. President Marcos considered the job fair in Laguna the most successful, as he expressed his delight to the many applicants wearing hats or hired on-the-spot shirts. Besides the job fair, the chief executive also witnessed the turnover of anti-dengue logistics, such as insecticides, larvicides, and long-lasting insecticides from the Department of Health or DOH to the city health offices of Biñan and San Pedro. Apart from being beneficiaries of the DSWD's assistance to individuals in crisis situation or IX program, around 3,000 graduating members of the DSWD's 4Ps also received 3,000 pesos each as financial aid. Beneficiaries also availed different services from the Social Security System or SSS, Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth, and Home Development Mutual Fund or Pag-ibig Fund, as well as skills training and demonstration from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA. The DOLE also distributed 5,600 pesos each to 200 beneficiaries of the agency's Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged or Displaced Workers or TUPAD Emergency Employment Program.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also over the weekend, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas senatorial ticket is opposed to the idea of killing drug offenders to stop the narcotics trade. During a campaign rally in Santa Rosa City, Laguna Province, the president said the administration's candidates believe that the passage of a law empowering the Philippine National Police or PNP and the local government units or LGUs is the right solution to address drug proliferation and maintain peace and order. President Marcos reiterated that the Alianza ticket's goal is to promote the Filipinos' interests and welfare. The chief executive said his preferred candidates also support his firm stance to defend the Philippines from any foreign power, including those that are considered powerful. President Marcos assured voters of the coalition's commitment to help his administration in combating poverty, illegal drugs, and crime. The Alianza ticket is composed of former Interior Secretary Benher Abalos, Makati City Mayor Abby Binay, incumbent Senators Ramon Revilla Jr., Pia Cayetano, Lito Lapid, Amy Marcos, and Francis Tolentino, former Senators Panfilo Lacson, Manny Pacquiao, and Vicente Soto III, and House lawmakers Erwin Tulfo and Camille Villar. Alianza's campaign manager, Navota City Representative Toby Tiangco, expressed optimism that Laguna voters would pick the administration-backed candidates, citing their impressive track record and plans for the country. Tiangco said Alianza was formed based on the capabilities of the senatorial candidates to help President Marcos. Senator Francis Tolentino, for his part, said each one of them can help develop the province of Laguna, especially since the province shares 5% of the country's gross domestic product or GDP. Senator Ping Lacson added that Tatak Alianza is all about progress. Meanwhile, former Senate President Tito Soto said there are no on-the-job trainees or OJTs in Alianza, and their experience and track records proves it. Around 1.4 million registered voters are in the province of Laguna, which is part of the 10 vote-rich province in the country.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other Malacañang news, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the celebration of the Philippine Army's 128th anniversary on Saturday, March 22nd, which was held at Fort Andres Bonifacio in Taguig City. With the theme, Matatag na Sandigan ng Bagong Pilipinas, the program emphasizes the stability, sacrifices, and continued dedication of Filipino soldiers to defend the country's sovereignty. Among the activities in the celebration are capability demonstration, audiovisual presentation, and recognition of exceptional individuals and units that have demonstrated their strength and bravery, whom were given the Gold Cross Medal. In his message, the Commander-in-Chief urged members of the Army to enhance their skills and keep up with the latest trends to ensure that the next generations will inherit a new Philippines.
Honor, integrity, and fortitude. Ladies and gentlemen, the road ahead is not easy. There will be delays, frustrations, and challenges, as there always are. Our strength and resolve will continue to be tested. But I have no doubt the Philippine Army will stand the test, will stand firm, as it always has in the past 128 years. So together, let us ensure that the next generations will inherit a bagong Pilipinas that is peaceful, progressive, and full of promise. As your commander,
the President said his administration would continue looking for ways to boost the military's capability and welfare. President Marcos added that the conduct of training exercises would sharpen the government troops' combat readiness and strengthen their ability to respond effectively to any threat. The Chief Executive said the government is also reinforcing its welfare programs such as the mandatory annual physical examination, reimbursement of hospital expenses, and assistance for wounded in action personnel.
as we mark the 128th founding anniversary, we are again reminded why we choose to serve. We do it not for ourselves, but also for the countless generations that will come after us. Every Filipino wants their children to grow up in a country where they are safe, where they have access to quality education, and where they can build a future that has opportunities awaiting them. We all dream of a nation steady in its calm and brave enough to face whatever tomorrow might bring. And that is why this administration remains committed to ensuring that the Philippine Army is always ready to fulfill its mission. We are equipping you with the arsenal to champion our rights and protect our national interests. These efforts are part of a broader vision, a nation where Filipinos no longer need to worry about their safety, where they can build a more dignified lives for themselves and for their families. When peace and order are in place, we can pursue knowledge, we can work towards prosperity, and we can contribute to our country's progress. To achieve this, the government must lead by example. We strive for a government that listens, that acts and serves with integrity. That is the only way to rise above adversities and move forward as a people.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Philippine government is expecting that 90,000 motorists daily will benefit with the completion of the remaining part of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway, or CALAX, after the inspection of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Silang, Cavite Province. According to the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, 45,000 vehicles currently use CALAX daily, but once the 8.64-kilometer subsection 3 and other parts of the project is finished, this will double to 90,000. Subsection 3, or the Governor's Drive interchange, is currently 44% in its construction phase. The 8.64-kilometer segment will connect the Silang Interchange and Governor's Drive in General Trias and will be the longest operational segment of CALAX. Once the CALAX project is completed, travel between the municipality of Kawit until the South Luzon Expressway, or SLEX, will only take 35 minutes, compared to the current 2-hour travel. According to DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan, right-of-way acquisition continues in Cavite to fast-track the project. The government targets to complete this project to ease the flow of traffic in the provinces of Cavite and Laguna and deliver faster travel to those who use the expressway daily.
Dateline Malacañang.
United States Department of Defense, or USDOD Secretary Pete Hegseth is expected to visit the country this week to strengthen military alliance and security between the Philippines and the U.S. According to an official statement from the Pentagon, the Philippines is part of Secretary Hegseth's first official visit to the region, which also includes Hawaii, Guam, and Japan. During his visit, Secretary Hegseth will meet with high-ranking officials of the Philippine government and military to discuss strengthening cooperation for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Besides bilateral meetings, the DoD Secretary is also expected to meet with Philippine and American soldiers as the start of the yearly Balikatan, or shoulder-to-shoulder exercises, begin this coming April. After the Philippines, Secretary Hegseth will then visit Japan to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima, where he will meet with Japan leaders and U.S. troops. This is the first time Secretary Hegseth will have the chance to visit the Philippines and the Indo-Pacific region since assuming office early this year. Meanwhile, Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Romualdez, said the visit of U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth to the Philippines will help boost the modernization of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP. In a radio interview, Ambassador Romualdez said Secretary Hegseth is set to meet with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and Department of National Defense, or DND Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. once he arrives in the Philippines. Romualdez said it is important that the Philippines take advantage of this situation, as the country has a role to play in the defense strategy of the U.S. as well as other allies like Japan and Australia.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Department of Agriculture, or DA, has increased the monthly rice allocation for vulnerable sectors threefold, benefiting from the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s P29 program. In a news release Sunday, the new policy allows vulnerable sectors to purchase rice at Kadiwa ng Pangulo, or KNP stores and centers up to 30 kilograms of rice each month, priced at 29 pesos per kilogram. The new limit increased 3 times from the previous limit of 10 kilograms. Vulnerable sectors in the Philippines, including senior citizens, persons with disabilities, solo parents, and indigents, make up several million covered by the program. Under this program, the government sells buffer rice stocks from the National Food Authority, or NFA. During the Trabajo at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas Job and Healthcare Fair in Dasmariñas, Cavite Province Friday, DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. announced that the new policy would be implemented nationwide immediately. Launched in July last year, The DA's P29 provides affordable rice options for vulnerable sectors.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Embassy in Lebanon issued an advisory in relation to the new series of Israeli strikes in South Lebanon and the Bekaa region. In its advisory, the embassy warned all Filipinos in Lebanon to refrain from traveling and staying in southern Lebanon and Bekaa due to the rising tension and series of attacks from Israel. The embassy also advised Filipinos to stay alert, follow instructions from local authorities, and do everything to ensure their safety. The Philippine Embassy assures Filipinos in the country that they are ready to provide assistance to those in need. Overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, may contact OFW emergency hotlines or the embassy's hotline when needed. Currently, Alert Level 3 remains hoisted over Lebanon, which means voluntary repatriation is in effect to Filipinos in the said country. Earlier, the Philippine government, through the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, expressed grave concern over Israel's latest offensive in Gaza that marked the resumption of its military operations after a 2-month ceasefire. In a statement, the DFA said Israel's latest offensive in the Gaza Strip resulted in the tragic loss of more than 400 Palestinian lives, including over 100 children, as well as more than 500 injured. The DFA called on all parties to adhere to their obligations under international law, with particular emphasis on the protection of civilians and for the unconditional release of all hostages.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine government will provide free rides to commuters who may be affected by the 3-day strike of Transport Group Manibela starting Monday, March 24th. In an advisory shared by Palace Press Officer and Presidential Communications Office, or PCO Undersecretary Claire Castro to the media on Sunday, Department of Transportation, or DOTR Secretary Vince Dizon said, additional buses will be deployed along the Epifanio de los Santos Avenue, or EDSA busway, while trains will be added to the Light Rail Transit, or LRT Lines 1 and 2, as well as Metro Rail Transit, or MRT3. It added that the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, will likewise mobilize free ride buses in areas that will be severely affected by the transport strike. Meanwhile, the National Capital Region Police Office, or NCRPO, said it has dispatched vehicles to offer free rides to commuters affected by the 3-day transport strike. In a news release, NCRPO spokesperson Major Hazel Asilo said, around 8,000 personnel, including nearly 2,500 from the Civil Disturbance and Management Unit, will be deployed. In the meantime, several schools have announced a shift to online mode, some on Monday only, while others for the duration of the strike or until Wednesday. De La Salle University, both Manila and Laguna campuses, senior high school, undergraduate and graduate studies, University of Santo Tomas, Far Eastern University, both Makati and Manila campuses, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, all campuses of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, or PUP, in the National Capital Region, or NCR, Trinity University of Asia, will shift to online classes on Monday, March 24th. Senior high school classes in both the Intramuros and Makati campuses of Mapua University and all levels of the Malayan High School of Science will shift to synchronous mode also on Monday, while all levels of Manuel L. Quezon University will shift to online classes from the 24th to the 26th of March. The transport group is protesting the alleged falsification of data of the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, regarding the implementation of the Public Transport Modernization Program. In an earlier statement, Secretary Dizon appealed to the transport group to sit down for a dialogue where they can air their grievances.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, thanked the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX Corporation, for granting their appeal to waive toll fees from motorists exiting May Kawayan from the Balintawak Interchange while the Marilao Interchange Bridge undergoes repair. In a statement, the DOTR said, the quick action the private sector took only shows its commitment to serve commuters and provide immediate help to ease their burden while repairs to the bridge are underway. Earlier, Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon has called on NLEX to allocate additional lanes as well as waive the toll fees for motorists affected by last week's collision of an oversized truck with a bridge. In a radio interview over Radyo Pilipinas, Dizon said, toll fees should be waived for motorists passing through the northbound side of the Balintawak to Marilao segment of NLEX while bridge repairs are underway. Dizon assured the public that the DOTR and its attached agencies are working with NLEX to repair the damaged bridge as soon as possible. He added the bridge repair should be completed in less than 2 weeks. NLEX has filed charges of reckless imprudence resulting in damage to property against the driver and the owners of the truck. The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has also issued a show cause order to the truck company and its driver. Meanwhile, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian has called on the government and other concerned agencies to expedite repairing the damaged bridge. In a statement, Gatchalian said the damaged bridge in Marilao Interchange has been causing horrendous vehicular traffic along NLEX, especially during peak hours, leading to significant travel delays for many travelers. The senator, who hails from Valenzuela, pointed out that Holy Week is fast approaching, adding that it is crucial that all expressway routes are promptly and thoroughly addressed to ensure a smooth, hassle-free journey to commuters who will be traveling for the holiday.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and